My guest this week is a blues musician who's befriended some of the most dangerous and bigoted men in America.
I'm Daryl Davis. I'm a musician, actor, author, and a lecturer. As shameful as it is, you don't burn our history, regardless the good, the bad, and the ugly. And the Ku Klux Klan is as American as baseball, apple pie, and Chevrolet.
Hey, Gary.
Nice to meet you.
My pleasure.
Here's my great Titan robe. You want me to put it on?
Yeah.
We would fight to the last bullet for our people.
How can you hate me when you don't even know me? Look at me and tell me to my face why you would lynch me. I never set out to convert anybody.
Hey, Frank, how you doing, man?
In my quest, some of them ended up converting themselves.
I consider Frank to be my friend.
I consider Daryl to be my friend as well.
Please welcome Daryl Davis! That is a handshake.
I was sitting in the green room watching, your show before I came on.
Thanks.
And I kept thinking, man, I wish this show could be seen by more Americans.
Yeah.
Because you, my friend, you tell the truth. You put it out there.
Oh, thanks very much.
Yes, you do.
Very well.
Yes, you do. He does.
Now, that was a clip from your documentary, Accidental Courtesy, which is, if you haven't, it's a phenomenal documentary. Basically, you go around converting people that are in the KKK.
Well, I go around meeting them and set an example, and they end up converting themselves. Some of them do.
OK. The other thing that really freaks me out is that I just assumed the Klan had gone. I didn't think it was there.
Oh, yes.
So how many members of the KKK have you stopped being members?
I would say maybe directly between 40 and 60 people. Indirectly, over 200.
OK.
Yeah.
That's a pretty impressive thing to do.
So, vicariously, through learning about me and then in person, many of them would end up leaving the Klan on their own. I was the impetus, but I didn't say, you need to get out and give up this stuff.
Yeah.
They would leave on their own, and I would get their robes and hoods and other Klan paraphernalia, which I keep. Okay?
You keep
But
them?
yeah, I do, because one day I'm going to open up a museum. Because it's important, that, if you're going to show your history, you got to show the good, the bad, the ugly, and the shameful. Don't hide anything.
Why did you decide to do this?
Well, racism always fascinated me because I couldn't understand how someone could judge another person simply on the color of their skin. And as a kid, I went to international schools. My dad was in the Foreign Service, so we did a lot of time overseas. I was an American Embassy brat. In my classes back in the 1960s, I had Japanese kids, Nigerians, Italian, French, Russian, German. If you were to pop your head in the door and look at my classroom, you would say, oh, that looks like a United Nations of little kids, And at the same time that I was having this diversity, my peers back home in my own country were either going to newly integrated or still segregated schools.
So when was the first time you encountered?
Well, when I would come back, I would either be in an all-black school or a black and white school, a newly integrated school. So when I was overseas, I was living 12 to 15 years ahead of my time.
Wow. So you were literally going from Technicolor to black and white.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That was actually quite
You
clever. actually freaked out because is that racist? No.
It's the truth.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So how does one go about changing the mind of a racist?
By learning as much as you can about that ideology before you meet them. Because you know what? When I would go in there and meet with these people, I would know as much as they did or more about them and their organization than they did. And so whether they liked me or not, they had to respect me.
Right.
Because I'd done my homework.
Yes.
So that enabled me to sit down and listen with them, and I would not allow them to push my buttons. And that really throws them when they see that I'm unshakable.
How do you not get scared? These people want to kill you.
Well, they got a lot to kill, don't they?
See, look at that. So you're laughing about that. How do how are you not scared?
Well, there are people who believe that way, who wear clothes just like you and I. And you probably even know some, but you don't feel that fear until you see them in their robe and hood. Yeah, I don't let the Robin Hood throw me.
So you're never, it's just...
No, I mean, they are dangerous. Many of them are.
Yeah.
And then there are those who will sit down and talk and try to be rational.
Yeah.
But, there's no rationale behind racism. And then there are those who are just loose cannons. I've had a few fights.
Does your wife not get scared?
She is a little concerned, yes. Yeah. And, I keep her away from a lot of that stuff. I don't take her to the rallies with me. They'd probably be a little upset because she's white.
Okay. Have you ever met somebody who you think there's no help in this bloke?
Well, I realize that not everybody's going to change.
Yeah.
There are going to be those people who will go to their graves being hateful, violent, and racist, and they'll just have to go that way.
Yeah.
But there are other people who are more ignorant. Ignorance can be cured. Stupidity cannot.
You've got a beautiful way with words. One of my favourite quotes from the documentary is, "We're living in space-age times with Stone Age
Well,
minds."
this is true, man.
What a quote. Like, it's, really...
Let me tell you how that came about. It bothers me as an American. We call ourselves the greatest nation on the face of this earth.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I love my country, I'm patriotic, all that kind of thing, despite, the flaws that we have.
Yes.
But perhaps technologically we are. We put a man on the moon before anybody else. And we invented that technology. And while Neil Armstrong was up there walking around on the moon talking about one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind, we were able to talk to him live. So how is it that we, as Americans, can talk to people as far away as the moon and all over the face of this earth, but yet many of us have difficulty talking to the person who lives right next door because of his color, his ethnicity, his persuasion, his religion? So it seems to me that before we can call ourselves the greatest, our ideology needs to catch up to our technology. And when we get them both up there, then we can truly brag about how great we are. Because like I said, this is the 21st century, man. We are living in space-age times. But there's still too many of us thinking with Stone Age minds.
I like it. One of the more upsetting bits of the film is when you have a discussion with the Black Lives Matter guys.
Yes.
And it's kind of, they get very frustrated with you.
Yes.
Because they think that you should be doing more to help the black community than trying to turn, KKK members. How did you respond to that? Because it was one of the most sort of visceral moments of the film.
That's an excellent word, visceral, okay? A lot of black people, when they see a picture of me shaking hands with somebody in a robe and a hood,
Yeah.
of course there's a visceral reaction, a knee-jerk reaction. I would have one myself.
Yeah.
All right? But there are those who form an opinion immediately, and, this guy must be a sellout. He must be an Uncle Tom. He must be an Oreo.
Yeah.
Black on the outside, white on the inside. It's a derogatory remark. Okay? But then there are those who say, what the hell is going on here? Let me read the backstory and find out. Okay, I get what he's doing now. So in the movie, in the film, the first time the young guy met me was in the parking lot.
Yes.
And first thing out of his mouth was, he said, "I understand you're the first black member of the KKK."
Right.
Well, obviously he had some bad information.
Yes.
Because if the KKK had any black members, it wouldn't be a KKK, right? But he took it
It would
to
be an
heart.
OKK. See, even when you laugh, your face is beautiful.
So he and his buddies ganged up on me.
Yeah.
And what you saw was 8 minutes of contention.
Yes.
It went on for almost an hour. It almost broke out into a fist fight.
Right.
Okay? Now, believe it or not, 3 Wednesdays ago, we went out and had dinner. Now we all are friends.
Oh, okay.
And they better understand what I do. I better understand what they do. And we have agreed to work together. Dialogue is the key.
Yeah, but that's the main thing that comes out about the documentary. It's a conversation, isn't it?
Yes. When two enemies are talking,
Yeah.
they're not fighting. They're talking. They might be yelling and screaming and disagreeing and beating their fists on the table to drive home a point.
Yeah.
But at least they're talking. It's when the talking stops that the ground becomes fertile for violence. So we want to keep the conversation going.
Yes, man.
You know?
Would you stand on Trump? Presumably his neck. But where do you stand on Donald Trump? Because we watch him with a mixture of...
I'm going to tell you where I stand on Donald Trump.
OK.
OK. You know, I'm a musician by trade.
Yeah, interesting start.
I played for Donald Trump many years ago, long before he was running for politics. You know,
OK.
But I believe, now I did not support him in this last election. However, I truly believe that Donald Trump is the best thing that has happened to my country.
Really?
Now, yeah, I do.
What's that?
Now, let me explain how.
Yeah, I know,
okay?
yeah. See, there, you're back.
Do you ski?
I mean, no.
Okay, well...
I've never been skiing, but I love the way that you... I mean, that is a curveball. Like, isn't it? I just think, you're just like me going, Theresa May is an excellent politician. Tobogganing, is it your thing? I've never skied. Are you a skier?
Well, no.
No.
Well, if you went skiing, perhaps, or just walking down a flight of stairs...
I could do that,
and
yeah.
you fell, you may fracture your leg.
Yes.
All right? You go to the doctor x-rays and says, well, Russell, the type of fracture you have, I have to break the bone and reset it so it will heal properly.
Yes.
That is precisely what Donald Trump is doing to the United States.
Oh, that's interesting.
He is breaking the bone of the country, not by any intelligent design, you understand. Just through his BS.
Right. Yeah.
Because that needs to happen. My country was built on two tiers: white supremacy and slavery.
Yeah.
Okay? And this never happened. When we progressed like this.
Yes.
Not like this. Okay?
Yeah.
So when Donald Trump gets done breaking the bone of America, everybody is going to be hurt. Black, white, Muslim, Jew, Christian, rich, poor, male, female, we all will be hurt equally. We all will be on the ground level. And we will have to rebuild together, rely on each other to rebuild together.
Yeah.
And this time we'll get it right. Because it won't be like this, it'll be like this.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you, my friend.
It's a window into a world we don't know about. Ladies and gentlemen, the wonderful Daryl Davis!